Hello everyone, welcome to the Reluctant Lawyer webinar series. We're continuing today with our business development series, and we're talking about why hiring is not always the right thing to do. And what I'm really trying to focus you in on is the exponential growth of your company, and I hope that you're just busting at the seams with work and with product. And what's happening in our economy is we have a really stiff balance here between hiring someone that comes on and the production that person can produce for your company. And you have to really look at this in a completely different way. So I want to talk about, before you hire anybody, there's some things you should do as you're starting to grow your business. Number one, you should master the steps. So you want to master the steps. Number two, okay, you want to have the minimum number of people and the maximum amount of profit. Number three, add when you have to in order not to make it easier. So you add, when I use add, I mean hire, when you have to. When you have to. Okay? Let me stop here for just 1 second. When I talk about have to, I mean when your production is losing, meaning you have more demand coming in and you are losing productivity, that is a good indication that you need to hire somebody. Now, I will also tell you this, that doesn't necessarily mean you need to hire the person to do that production. Many times it's an administrative person who's cheaper, who can support the people who are really doing the work. But this is a pretty good indicator. Hire when you have to, not when you want to. All right, number four. Really crucial here. Each hire should max your profit. So, let me give you an example. Over here, an example on this trusty whiteboard, okay? You really want to make sure that if you hire somebody at, let's say, $10 an hour, because I'm not smart enough to do the math at any other function, and they're doing 40 hours a week, that equals $400. If they are not producing more than $400, guess what? You are losing. And we're not even talking about the taxes, the insurance, all the administrative costs that go with hiring somebody. So what you really need to do is say, okay, I have product that's going to be coming in at $3,000 a month. I need to hire somebody who can produce this, and my cost for this needs to be $1,500 a month. If I hire somebody, can I take this $3,000 to $4,500 in order to net me the same $3,000? So really what you should be looking at is, can I get the profit here up to justify this acquisition of a new hire? That's a different analysis than, hey, we're really busy, we need to hire somebody. All right. Next, number five. An administrative hire should lower expenses. Now, this is a little more specific. When I talk about should you hire somebody, I'm really talking about this type of hire. An administrative person. I have a lot of clients who have a ton of administrative assistants, but they're not lowering the overall expenses of the company. What that means is people say, well, what do you mean by that? Hey, look, what I'm trying to tell you is when you hire an administrative assistant, your overall expenses to administer your company should actually go down through increased productivity. They should not go up. So if your billing is slow and you hire somebody and your billing goes up, you should be able to put a metric to that, a metric that says, for example, billing was at 20%. This hire made it go up to 40%. That's a justifiable acquisition. If you can't do that, then that person is clearly just adding to your overhead and should not be done. All right, finally, turn around here a little bit. Multitask. I I know that this statement here may be inapplicable to certain corporations and to certain businesses. Your business model may not allow you to multitask, okay? What I mean by that is, another word I use is cross-train. And this is really important because employees get sick. People fall out, they have a life event, their kid falls off their bike, they're not there. This is all about making sure that the minimum amount of staff you have can step in and pick up the load so your production doesn't go down. So I know a lot of small businesses, they say, all I want you to do is billing. All right, and there's a contrast to this too. You can actually put so many tasks on an employee, they become overall unproductive. So you got to be careful that you strike the right balance here. Before you hire somebody, you should master the steps of your own process. You should minimize the number of people you have in order to maximize the amount of profit. You should only hire when you have to, not when you want to. Each hire should maximize your profit. Fifthly, administrative hires should lower your overall expenses ultimately through increased production. And finally, your hires in a small business, when you're taking it from concept to reality, should be cross-trained in the different areas of your productive system in order to maximize the rate of return for each employee. I think if you follow these guidelines, you may find yourself hiring more than just one person, although you may not be hiring anybody. Thank you for listening to us. We look forward to helping you with the Reluctant Lawyer webinar series in the future.